Biblical Minimalism, Chapter 7, The Pain and Benefits of Letting Go. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. 2 Timothy 2, 3, and 4. Physically hard is one thing. Emotionally hard is in a class by itself. When it comes to letting go of things that memories are attached to, I completely draw back and do not want to deal with the heartache. A friend of ours often says God will bring you through if you can stand the pull. What I am learning is this: if God asks me to do something, He will absolutely get me through it, regardless how hard I cry, how much my flesh recoils, and how much it hurts. His grace is sufficient. 2 Corinthians 12 and 9. He didn't say everything He asks us to do will be easy, but He did promise to never leave us alone in Matthew 28:20. He is the God of all comfort, 2 Corinthians 1 and 3. That includes when we grieve for what used to be but can never be again. It includes when we must let things go that tear at the very heart of us. It includes when what we are grieving over seems absurd. Isaiah 41:10 says, Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. He is there, even in the moments of tears and separation anxiety, to soothe, console, ease, and bring a sense of peace. He understands. His ability to comfort is all-encompassing and enshrouds every possible potential hurt of the human condition, including the pain of letting go. The pain. One of my hardest minimizing moments happened in the furniture section of a local consignment mall. As I stood frozen in place several moments longer than necessary, my hand brushed across the smooth wooden tabletop, every inch so familiar to me. My other hand rested on the top of the closest chair. As I stood there, I could not hold back the tears. I suppose if the store had a surveillance system, the person watching the camera probably thought I should be locked up somewhere in a padded room. Who would stand and linger and cry over a table and 5 chairs? Who in their right mind would feel compelled to do such a thing? Tears continued to roll unbidden down my cheeks as my mind relived so many memories. We bought that round, solid oak table and chairs, along with a matching hutch, from an elderly couple about a year after our wedding. It remained a constant throughout nearly 28 years of our married life. My thoughts went back to those newly married years when I loved trying out any new recipe I could find and would often invite Mom and Dad to join us around that table so they could be the first to sample my new culinary creations. They, along with my dear patient husband, were the kindest of critics. That dear old table came right along with us when we had our first home built. It was there, strong and stalwart, when we brought our precious baby boy home from the hospital. We have a picture of Mom giving him his first bath at home on that tabletop. It held plates, saucers and cups, casserole dishes, our annual Christmas feasts, birthday cakes, board games, and jigsaw puzzles. I cooked countless meals and placed them on that table in front of the ones I love most in the world. While seated at that table, we laughed until our sides ached, and we cried uncontrollable tears as we realized seats that were filled the year before were now vacant, reminding us of the fragility of life. Zach and I spent countless hours making crafts, poring over algebra problems, and coloring in his coloring books while seated at that table. If that table and those chairs could talk, the stories they could tell. From moments of jubilant praise to times of darkness and despair, they have seen and heard and witnessed it all. The flood of memories that washed over me standing there seemed never ending. With an ache deep within, I said, "Thanks for the memories," right before I tore myself to walk away from it for the last time. Since it didn't sell during the time of its consignment, we decided to donate it to some friends. I knew they were coming to pick it up within the next few days, and I would see it no more. As I walked away, I felt compelled to go back and stand there like I've done thousands of times over the years and try to relive those dear, precious moments just one more time. I pulled myself together instead and forced myself to walk toward the front of the store, through the door and out to the car. To keep going back and grieving over what used to be was not going to change the outcome. It was not going to propel me backward to those moments with Kevin, Zach, Mom, Dad, all our siblings, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, dear friends, loved ones, neighbors, and acquaintances. Those days of yesteryear will never be relived. The ever-moving river of life has brought us here. It is now, and nothing can take us back. Life is not lived backward. Time is a forward journey, and no matter how much we want it to stop or slow down, it marches on. As God continued to lead and ask, "Do you need it today?" there came a day that we met a friend at our storage unit and gave him most of the remaining furniture, including our beloved king-size bedroom suite. It was the kind Kevin and I had dreamed of having, with small pillars and beautiful Victorian-like carvings on the headboard and footboard, the nicest bedroom set either of us has ever owned by far. We dreamed of having it. God provided and fulfilled the dream. We cherished it for many years, and then it was time to let go. It served its purpose in our lives for a very long time, and now the bed will bless someone else. As our friend peeled back the blanket protecting the headboard to get it ready to load, we were appalled to find that the blanket had melded onto the wood and left a trail of residue behind. It hit me how things go to ruin while sitting in a storage unit. To let things sit and deteriorate because we can't bear to part with it, or we might need it someday, seems selfish considering there are others in need of the things we are not using. If we waited until we were ready to use it again, should that day ever come, would it still be in good enough shape to use? It seems crazy to me now that we went to such extremes and pains to move it all such a long distance. I wish we had known then what we know now. Being able to let it go and still survive emotionally really lets me know how far we've come. The benefits: less weight. The truth of the matter is the heavy, well-built furniture we owned was too hard for us to keep up with anymore. Kevin's health is such that it is becoming increasingly difficult for him to do any lifting. Zach is very strong, but to laden him with the burden of hauling it around is not something Kevin and I are willing to do. So the time to let go has come, and we are turning loose. Less worry. The less we own, the less our worries. I used to worry every time we left home for vacation or other reasons. I would fret and obsess to the point that oftentimes I couldn't even enjoy our trip. The enemy would wreak havoc with my imagination, and I would envision all sorts of things happening while we were gone. In reality, God was merciful every single time and has always assured me that He takes care of what belongs to Him. He has never failed. But my wavering faith and fearful outlook have caused me untold, unnecessary worry. What good did it do? I am finding that the less we own, the less I obsess. There is a wonderful sense of freedom that comes with not having so many things to be concerned about. A slower pace. Many of us have lived most of our lives in some version of the fast lane. We hustle, bustle, and drive ourselves crazy trying to meet the impossible demands placed upon us by a worldly, living just for the moment society. We see ads and hear commercials and think we have to rush out and buy what is being promoted. We work our lives away to keep up with the people around us. Upon the altar of social acceptance and worldly success, we sacrifice time that should be spent experiencing life firsthand with our families. As I look back over the past few years, I am amazed at the way God has slowed our pace. If I were able to insert a sound effect here, it would sound like an LP, remember those? Being played at chipmunk high speed, then lowered down to the slowest speed possible, until it sounds like a dragging, warped record. That is how distinctly different our pace is from the fast pace we used to maintain while rushing through life at breakneck speed. The dear Lord has directed us completely away from the maddening rat race of the fast lane over into a lane that requires a simple, slow-moving pace. Though it has cost us much and been an uphill, strenuous climb, it has been worth every single labored step to make the switch to change lanes. More intimacy with Jesus. As hard as it is to let go of certain possessions, the resulting closeness to Jesus and the deepening of fellowship with Him that comes from responding to His call immeasurably surpasses the pain of letting go. There is a deep satisfaction that comes from releasing what is temporal for the sake of what is eternal. There is an unfathomable peace that follows complete obedience to this compelling, impossible to ignore pull upon our hearts to be more like Him and live the minimal, undistracted, unattached to this earth, God-honoring, ministry-focused life that He lived. To follow Jesus, we must be willing to emulate His lifestyle. He is the ultimate example of minimally walking through life unencumbered by things that are not eternal. Jesus Christ's whole life was about fulfilling His earthly mission while here, so He could return to His Father in heaven for eternity. Shouldn't this be our mission too? The benefits of letting go are endless, but none outshine the joy of knowing we are steadily becoming more closely aligned with the life Jesus lived, and that is truly the most precious, rewarding benefit of all.